So these people told me, well, you're probably not going to make it. It's going to be unsuccessful. But I didn't quit. I kept going, kept learning, and I kept taking action. Hey everyone, it's Steve here. Wanted to bring you guys a quick message today about not giving up. There's the famous Winston Churchill speech that he gave during World War II, and basically, I'll paraphrase for you if you're unfamiliar, but towards the end he says, never, ever, ever give up. And now that resonates a lot with me about a lot of things in business and in life and in our journey through this world. But let's be honest, sometimes we need to give things up, right? Sometimes we just need to get rid of that bad, toxic relationship or that job that's just not paying off right now. And sometimes, we need to move on to greener and better pastures. But, a story that I often think back to is when I first began my career in real estate was back in 2008. And if you're unfamiliar, 2008 was a pretty bad time for real estate. It began kind of the Great Recession, as it's known in the US, of course. And this was the housing crisis, and banks were collapsing, Lehman Brothers. It was a really bad time. There was agents that had been in the business for decades that were leaving in droves because it was just such a terrible time to be a realtor, to try to sell homes and help people buy homes. Lots of foreclosures happening, all sorts of terrible things. And I'll never forget when I decided to get my real estate license and start trying to earn a living in real estate as a business. There were some people very close to me that tried to talk me out of it. They told me it was a bad idea, it was a terrible time, that I probably wouldn't make it, and it was very discouraging. But I had done my research, and people that know me for a while know that I do my research and I create lists of pros and cons. And I try to figure out, is this going to pay off for me in the long run? Am I capable of doing this? What are the drawbacks if I fail? What are the drawbacks if I succeed, right? What do I have to give up in order to succeed? And so these people told me, well, you're probably not going to make it. It's going to be unsuccessful. But I didn't quit. I kept going, kept learning, and I kept taking action. And I think that first year I sold 4 properties. Now, funny enough, my first and one of those 4 was my own property that me and my wife had bought. We closed on it 4 days after we actually got married. Got married on a Saturday, closed on that first property on a Wednesday. And I actually took a commission on that property. And my commission was like $3,000 or something like that, because the price of the house was $120,000. We got some assistance programs, and we ended up getting into that house for a pretty low amount of money out of pocket, especially back in those days. And after that, for the rest of that calendar year, that was in the summer of 2008, for the rest of that calendar year, I think I only closed 3 different properties. One of them happened to be a $31,000 condo purchase, which after commission splits, I think I earned about $400 from. And another was about a $43,000 townhouse that I also earned maybe $500-600 in commissions from. And I'll never forget going through that time, working with those buyers. I was following up with tons of other people, doing lots of lead generation and follow-up and cold calling and warm calling and all sorts of things to try to make it in this business that, by everyone's account, was dying. And I know that it turned around for me finally when my 4th client that year, who I'm still working with and in communication with today. And by the way, those other 2 clients, I helped them sell those properties for big profits later on and buy other properties as well. So that's a side note. But that 4th buyer that I finally helped close on a deal, I'll never forget. It was $230,000. And back in those days, I thought, man, this is like a mansion or something. This is crazy. After commission splits and whatnot, I think I ended up making around $3,500-4,000. And, for the total year then, I'd only been licensed for about 6 or 7 months out of that year. But for the total year, I made somewhere in that $7,000 range for commissions. And again, almost half of that was from my own primary residence that me and my wife had bought. So after that time, that first year was a little bit rough. But then the next year, instead of closing 4 deals, I didn't close 8, I didn't close 12, I didn't close 16. I actually closed 18 homes that next year in 2009. And I ended up going on to win Rookie of the Year for my real estate team, which was the #1 team in the entire state of Minnesota for any type of brokerage, any company out there. And that was kind of the turning point for me, was believing in that first 6 to 7 months that this was possible. Seeing those little seeds of hope from those first commissions and those first clients that I was working with, finally getting the payoff in that second year and able to basically file taxes so that I was making money instead of the previous year, which showed that my business was technically losing money. So that's a quick message of hope and determination for you out there. If you're getting discouraged, let's say you're out there and something's going wrong in your life right now, and you feel like there's no hope. You feel like you're falling behind financially. You feel like you're having bad relationships and you're not able to, make the ends meet that you want to. You're not able to make things happen how you want them to. This is just a quick message for all of you out there that it is possible. You have to believe in yourself. You have to put in the time to actually learn, and you have to get motivated and get into action. Nobody ever built a business. Nobody ever found success. Nobody ever accomplished anything in life by sitting around and watching videos or listening to podcasts or reading books. Okay, those are all useful, very useful things. And trust me, I've read tons of them. You can find some down in the links below. Some of the books that inspired me and helped me get to where I am today. But sooner or later, and I'd say sooner rather than later, you have to actually take action. And that's what really helped me early on in my real estate journey, is that I did a lot of research early on and I made the decision to go for it. And then once I went for it, I went for it. I didn't just stop at the reading and at the learning and getting all that information. I actually went and started working with clients. I actually took the classes and I actually got the experience needed so that the next year, when I was working with those 18 clients that ended up closing with me, they knew that I was someone that actually had experience and knew what I was talking about, and they could trust me to help guide them through the biggest financial decision of their life. So if you got something out of this video, go ahead and leave a like down below. Subscribe to the channel if you want more content like this, more motivation, more information about being financially free, building wealth for you and your family, and getting out there and taking action. So thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next time. Peace.